the official season. I think there's some big games happening in Europe and Vegas, I know, some of the national marquee matchups. So everybody that is into women's basketball probably has a little eye on the Scores Sports Center and watching. But I'm going to be watching our team. We start practice in a few minutes, and today feels a little bit different than it has in the sense that we have 48 hours really before we go, and no matter what role I have, there's always a different feel on that first official week of opening days. So we're excited. I know we're ready to play someone else, I can tell you that. I got that sense, especially the last 2 days, that it was just a little bit more clear that they don't want to see our men's practice squad anymore, and they really don't want to see each other anymore. So we're ready and excited to start really seeing where we are and how we get it improved day by day and game by game.
I wanted to start with a couple of questions about injuries. Sida Fulter was in here, and seems like she's getting close. Just curious where she is in terms of when you think you're going to get her back, and then Aaliyah Guyton.
Right. Well, with Sydney Fulter, we're so thankful that she's ahead of schedule, and that's not surprising. I don't know if I've really coached anyone as tough. Certainly, she's probably in a Megan Gustafson category, right? Kate Martin-esque, but her, she didn't really want to sit out A. And then when she had to, it was clear before any procedure happened that she would be back earlier, and she is. So we're going to work her in slowly. Hopefully we can get a few more reps in practice today and a few more tomorrow. And it'd be wonderful if she could see some minutes on Wednesday, because then after Wednesday, as you all know, we really start to tick up. But really happy with her progress, and just so fit and really fit in her mind too, which is great. And Aaliyah Guyton, she's working her way back. It's all about load management when you bring someone back from that type of surgery. But she's looking great, dry. It'll just be nice to have a true point guard being able to even come in drills. I got to shout out Taylor Strimlow. That kid, she just is doing everything you need her to do. She's been playing the backup 1. She really is a 3, but she'll play a backup 2. Heck, that kid would play a 5 backup if you needed her to, with no questions asked. But Taylor Strimlow has done a nice job of just trying to learn all the plays as a freshman, from certainly 2 different spots, but sometimes 3, and that's really difficult to do.
In terms of the on-ramp for Sydney, does that mean substantial minutes against Virginia Tech, a little slower than that?
Well, I think it depends on the game flows and really how her knee's responding. There's one thing about running in a pool and running on I don't know what you can call it, the treadmills that take the weight off, and doing the defensive slides versus running up and down, stopping, starting, diving. And we just need to see what that, how it responds to it. But I do know that, Sid is tough. As long as she feels she can handle it, she'll go. But I think it would be wise for us to load management if possible. But, you get into the thick of a game like one next weekend against Virginia Tech and moving forward, it'll be tough to slow down Sid. And then it's probably going to be tough to slow down me. So I might need Dr. Wolf and our trainer Andrea with that one.
So much obviously has been talked about what's new on this team, but for the pieces who have been here the last 2 years and have seen seasons play out all the way to the end and know that, the what seems cliche of, hey, this drill in early November can make a difference in March. Mm-hmm. How much easier or how important is it to have players who can communicate that as well?
Yeah.
Along with everything that's
I'm really thankful for that. We do have 2 returning starters, Sid Fulter and Hannah Stalkey. So they can go from experience, and step up when you need it. But also, Jada Jimpy has a really good voice, and she can also, from her perspective, remind everyone. So I think that is really key, and we're going to need their confidence to see us through the drills in practice at times, which they've done a great job of, but certainly as the ebbs and flows happen with the season. What's interesting in this particular year is, we have 6 new people, 8 returners, really 7. Kenise Johnson didn't play last year and then got injured. but your point guard is new, and she's really good, but she hasn't ever done the system before. So the offense and the reads, takes a little bit more time. But she's been doing a sensational job. I can't say enough about Lucy and her coachability, and she's just a gem. I told her so many times already, man, I wish we could have had you for 4. It's going too fast, for 1. But I think that's the trickier. You gotta, almost 50-50. So there's a lot resting on those that have come before to carry that, but also with the inexperience of learning everything, right? Because there's just a learning curve, and you got to kind of balance that learning curve with what you want to do right now. So I think that they've struck a really nice balance of when to speak up and demand as a peer, and when to, we got it, when to slow it down and build up when you're a freshman, or a Lucy kind of learning, oh yeah, I should have made that read, right? So I've been really, really pleased with our returning leadership.
Wanted to ask about the center position. Abby already got to start in the exhibition. You mentioned Ava Hayden had been dealing with a sickness. Have you settled on who you want to start on Wednesday?
And I likely will be Addie, but they're so, they're battling it out in a really great way. I think any coach would tell you that's the way you want to battle it, with a, when someone has a nice play and the other one's standing out, I mean, they're the first to jump up and high five or fist bump or whatever. So I think it'll, our goal is just to keep them both confident and playing, freer. And I think, Addie will get the start, but I try not to. I mean, it's always cool and fun to start, but I want them to really understand that you might play even more minutes if you're coming off the bench, depending on the flow, and to try not to spend too much unnecessary energy on getting it or not getting it, especially with that position, because they both give us a really good look in a different way. Addie's got a little height. She's really pretty good timing and enforcer on defense. Ava's, really mobile. She can get down that floor, and when she puts it all together, she's, she can be a little different type of matchup. So it's a neck and neck, but it's a fun neck and neck, and they're pushing each other and making each other better every day.
You guys have had a lot of good centers over the years. You're talking about Megan, Monica, even Hannah last year did a pretty good job playing there. What stands out about Ava that, as a freshman, she's already competing to start and play a lot of minutes?
She just is kind of naturally has an athleticism about her. She runs. She's got really good hops. She can jump. She can get up and hit the rim, and she can face too. She's got a really nice natural jumper. It just, learning the system, getting her timing of when to kind of circle out and put herself in a position. But she's just pretty quick. She's fast, she's quick. We just are working on the timing, and then kind of releasing her greatness, if you will, and getting to be a lot more aggressive. It's interesting, but posting up, really staying at that block. I think everybody has done a nice job developing her, but the comfortability down there, we just haven't quite got the timing. But I think when she learns that, she's going to be a really tough matchup, because she can also beat you off the bounce. You just haven't seen it yet.
You talked about this a little bit after the exhibition game, but what Hannah went through last year, playing at the 5 and dealing with everything that comes with that, while also, dealing with some knee issues. Even if her role is kind of more accustomed to what she's used to this year, how do you feel that experience last year and going through that, will pay off this year?
Well, I hope that just gives her a lot of confidence, right? Because she handled a really hard thing. I think sometimes the hardest thing for high school players to come into college is to learn when you got to play when you're hurt a little bit, right? It's like all of us in this room know when you got to go to school, you got to go to work when your head hurts, or maybe your throat's a little scratchy. When you're coming in from high school, usually, there's just a lot more, nursing that happens, because you don't want to go to school with a temperature, and, usually if an ankle is even slightly tweaked, you might miss the rest of practice. Or here, tape it up, let's go, right? And so with it, I'm saying, to a degree. So Hannah had to learn that, right? And kind of like should I push through this? No, this is too much. I got to take that load off. And we had to kind of, watch her do that. So I think that should give her confidence that she knows how to handle and push through some things and know when to say, I got to hold. And then I think just the success she had playing against the nation's best, whether, she was out driving from the elbow area or she was posting up strong and using her quickness or rim running. So she had a lot of success against every type of post, really, except, Cardosa from South Carolina. And no one had a whole lot of success with her, but overall, I think she should be playing really confidently. The trick is now she's playing more a perimeter, and I like what we saw the other night. And if we can continue to see that, I think we can comfortably, keep her growing in that 4 spot. But the beautiful thing is that, her versatility, she can still blast out that block and score at will there too. So fingers crossed, that's what we're hoping.
Speaking of Hannah, when I rewatched the exhibition game, I noticed that her 3-pointer in the first quarter, you guys drew up a play to get her that shot. Is that a shot that she's been working on?
Yeah, I feel like, she lost the summer, really. She couldn't really go real hard over the summer. So, I know when she got back, when she couldn't do set shots. So she's been, I know, working on that. But game time, every athlete will tell you, shooting it with nobody in the gym, and then game time. So she has been working on that. And, I think, that was a really big one for her to hit. Had to hopefully help her confidence.
You guys had a lot of new faces in the exhibition match, of course, but one that stood out kind of particularly was Tegan Malagini.
And just FYI, it's harder. It's Mulaney.
Mulaney, sorry.
Yeah, no,
I saw
it's
it.
because sometimes you want to say Mulaney, but it's Mulaney with the A.
Mulaney,
So I
okay.
just help her out there because all the years of recruiting, you learn it, right? Yeah.
What did you see in the exhibition match from her, and what have you seen so far in her first year, both on and off the court for the team?
Well, I just like, her confidence, and she is a really good shooter, as you can tell. And usually you're a good shooter, you just don't think about it. And when she gets on a roll, she can be pretty fun. I've seen her over the high school years and in AAU, the nation, everybody was recruiting her because she has the ability with that really quick trigger. And, if she gets on, she can certainly be, deadly. But, she's a freshman and still learning, the reads and the rolls and all those things. But she's just a competitor, and that whole class is really filled with competitors. But certainly Tegan has been shining this summer, and I think you caught a glimpse of what we hopefully can look forward to from her.
What stands out to you about Northern Illinois from what you've seen so far?
Well, their coach is a really great person. She's a friend of mine, and I just respect her and her climb. And she just really does everything the right way. She's recruits smart and hardworking, and just hard, because last year, like all of us, you're scouting us and you think one thing, but then everybody we lost, it's still a lot different. And that's the same thing with Northern Illinois. They like to play motion, they like to push, they can go 5 out, they have some nice screening action. But again, they have a kid that's hurt, we don't know if she's gonna be back. They, returned some, lost some. So 11 o'clock today they play. So most of the country might be excited about, South Carolina. I'm very excited to see what happens with their game.
Obviously you haven't lost a season opener since you've been here, but kind of aside from winning, what are the things that you're particularly looking for from this group on Wednesday?
Well, I just want them to keep getting more and more used to playing in front of people. I'm so thankful. Shout out to our crowd again. I thought that was an amazing exhibition crowd, and hopefully we'll have, that and then some. But just getting used to operate in that with that feel, because now on Sunday we're going to quickly go to another big field, hopefully, but it won't be all for us. They're going to have a lot of fans, just geographically. Sure, Tech will have the house, and obviously with South Carolina and NC State there might be some neutral fans, but you won't have the roar that we're going to have here. So I want them to start, really getting used to that. And just, continuing to feel more and more comfortable, playing together and making game, in-game adjustments. And that's what I hope, is that you just, it's a long marathon this season. And no matter how big a game is you win or one that you shouldn't have lost early, that is really a blip. Because in our sport, that's the beauty of it, right? You know, the playoff or college football playoffs, an early one can really stymie you, right? But with us, if you stay steady and keep improving, you got a lot of games to be able to still take you to where you want to go. So I think getting used to crowds, the flow of the offense and defense, we've done a few different things, and just the confidence and the comfortability. That's what I hope Wednesday gives us.
On Hannah's,
And a win.
on Hannah's,
last one right
Okay.
there.
on Hannah's 3, somebody on the Missouri Western bench was yelling, "Let her shoot it,"
Mhm.
well before she even got the ball. Is that the kind of thing that makes Hannah improve her game,
Yeah.
where somebody's doubting her? Maybe does that bring out a competitive
Well,
drive in her?
I think you can, depends on you're wired, right? If you're wired, and that can really just motivate you and tick you off, or if you're sensitive, that can really play with you. What I try to, over the years, there's always, and there's game plans. Like a lot of our teams, you have to pick your poison. So that may happen again on this. Do you want Mulaney to shoot it if she continues out? Probably not if she's in the game with Hannah. You want to really sag off at Lucy? Probably not. If we get our post big enough. So I try to just not, it is what it is. It's a coaching decision. It's an adjustment they've made. And so what I try to is get them to whatever motivates them. And I know them pretty well. I either downplay it or inflate it. Hannah, I think, was just playing her game, right? I'm sure she used it for motivation, but I don't make so much of that. What I make more of is, do your job and what's your role. And, if this particular game, you're not having it, we got counters for that, right? So I don't get so caught up, and I try not to let them, unless, you kind of stir the pot if it's gonna help you, or you turn down the temperature if you need it that way.